Hi, everyone. Welcome to our training webinar today, Local Fundamentals. My name is Cecilia Savajan. I am the Database Information Specialist on Travel Oregon's Integrated Marketing Team. Today's webinar is part of Travel Oregon's Small Business Marketing Series, and we'll drop a link to that in the chat. And it is my honor today to welcome our expert and presenter, Alexa Darrow with Locl. She is the Director of Customer Success. Welcome, Alexa.
Thanks, Cecilia. I'm very excited to be here, and hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's staying cool today, wherever you are. As Cecilia mentioned, I am Locl's Director of Customer Success, and just a quick little bit about me before we jump in today. I've been with Locl for 3 years, but I come from the world of hospitality myself. I used to work in public relations in the hospitality and tourism field, both here in Portland and also originally on the East Coast. I'm from the Philadelphia area, so I have more than a decade, I guess 13 or 14 years at this point, experience in this industry. And my role at Locl has been really fun, especially working with our DMO partners, just like Travel Oregon and some other folks, because it gives me a chance to really dive back into the thing that I'm most passionate about, which is hospitality and tourism. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you today. So as Cecilia mentioned, please don't hesitate to drop a question in the chat. We will address it towards the end of the presentation. And really just a quick overview, I'm going to be giving sort of just information about Google in general. Obviously, there might be different levels of familiarity with Google Business Profile and how Google Maps works. So I want to just make sure that I educate you there a little bit, and then I'm going to dive into just a quick demo of our actual platform and just tell you a bit about, why we've created Locl, how you guys can use it and get the most out of it. And so, yeah. Again, ask any questions you have, and we'll just jump in. So as you may or may not know, nearly 90% of internet searches happen in Google. You're probably familiar with the importance of Google and using it day to day in your lives as business owners or marketers, but also in general, in terms of, when you're traveling or if you're on the road and you're trying to look for something near you, nearly half of these searches are actually local in nature, meaning that people are actually looking for things nearby instead of Googling things more often, just, in general. So local meaning, in your community, in your town, if you're looking for something, dinner near me, restaurant near me. So this might look familiar to you, the common visitor interaction day to day. So let's say you're on the way home from a day trip to the coast and you pick up your phone because you have a craving for ice cream, but you're not sure what's around. So you type in best ice cream or ice cream near me. Something pops up or several choices pop up on the map. You then click on the directions button to figure out how far away it is from where you currently are. And then you're making a visit to that location and a purchase of said ice cream. Good for you. Ice cream's great, especially on hot days like these. So when you're searching for things like this, you're going to see that the search results can show up in many different ways. Again, you're probably familiar with many of these, if not all of these. This has been part of our lives for a long time now, but really I'm here to just stress the importance of this and show exactly, where you're going to be finding this. So as you can see here, when you're doing a Google search, you can see Google, a Google view on desktop. You can see the mobile search, you can see a maps view, and you're seeing not only the name of the business location, but also exactly where it's located, information like business hours, what the business offers, etc. So all of the information that you see on Google Maps is actually controlled on the back end in something called Google Business Profile. So Google Business Profile is actually the largest source of organic search for businesses online, and they're a significant signal ranking in Google. So people are flocking to Google and Google Maps to be able to find the things, again, nearby and local, to then figure out what the trajectory is or the next best step for them in order to visit and purchase something. But Google Business Profile has also is a top driver for zero-click searches, meaning that you can actually see all of these things just pop up based on one thing that you're entering. So for example, here, best breweries, Manzanita at the coast. So because a Google Map listing is so important and people are using it to make these purchasing decisions and buying decisions, you want to make sure that your Google listing is as accurate and as compelling as possible. So just some fun facts. Listings that are up to date are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. And they're also 70% more likely to attract location visits. So again, people are actually more likely to make a purchase if you're showing up on the map and they're able to easily find you and looking at things about your business, that are compelling and visual and exciting, instead of maybe finding a listing that has no information, no reviews, etc. So there are a lot of things that you can do on Google to make it easy, but just as a note, and I'll probably talk more about this later, Google can be really confusing. I like to use the word finicky. As we know, it's not always cut and dry what you're supposed to be doing, what the easy wins are in order to be showing up more in search. So a couple of things that I wanted to point out is first, claiming your business listing. So making sure that you've claimed it and verified it on Google so it's legitimate in Google's eyes is going to be the most important thing. So if you don't have a verified listing, that's going to be number one. We actually have a slide in this presentation that we'll share with you after the fact that will show you exactly how to claim and verify your listing. Once it is verified, you're going to want to add the basic missing information. So you're going to want to make sure that your business name is up to date, that your hours are accurate, creating a short business description, updating photos, reviews, etc. So again, everything that you're seeing on Maps is actually controlled on the back end by Google Business Profile. So when you do verify a listing and you create a Google account, this is what you're likely familiar with or going to see on your back end to be able to control all of the information that's then pushed out to Google Maps over here on this side. So this is where you can edit things like business hours, etc. However, as I just mentioned, Google can get very overwhelming very quickly. The interface is confusing. They don't tell you what to do and when to do it. Your insights are limited. It's not connected to other channels. So there's all sorts of challenges that we've found inside of Google that we wanted to fix, which is how Locl was created. So as I mentioned in my demo, you're going to be seeing a lot more, but essentially we've created Locl to give you access to all sorts of expanded features, make it incredibly user-friendly, and save you time, because as we know, as business owners and marketers, you're wearing a lot of hats. You don't have time to really sit down and think about this day to day, especially if Google isn't going to be clear in what you should be doing and when. In addition, unlike Google, as you may or may not have experienced yourselves, Locl actually has a team of customer service and support that can help you with the platform challenges or troubleshooting, or just strategy and information, so that way you can really get the most out of Google Maps through Locl. So there's a few differentiators. In addition to just having a cleaner interface, we give you the option to manage all of your Google Business Profile listings in a single place. So if you're familiar with Google Business Profile, and if you have multiple locations that you operate or own, then chances are you know that you actually have to open up different tabs to be able to manage each individual listing. In Locl, you can actually manage all of them at once in one place. And you can monitor the business performance for all of them in aggregate as well. Additionally, in Google, you can only see a quarter's worth of data, whereas in Locl, we actually provide 18 plus months worth of analytics data. So that way you can really make some clear business decisions, see all of your traffic that's coming from Google per month, per day, over the course of 18 plus months, which is really going to help you make some informed decisions about what you're investing your money and time into. Additionally, you're able to engage with things like customer reviews, promote events and offers through Google Posts. You can use a schedule tool to schedule things out in advance, again, just saving you so much time. And it's also connected to Travel Oregon's listing database, Otis, which if you're not familiar, Cecilia or Kate will be able to give you more information about that later. So something to mention is that we've actually recently expanded the offerings of Locl, which is currently free for all Travel Oregon users. And we've expanded our partnership to provide you with the full access to our highest subscription level, which is Plus Reach. So you have this for free. Tourism-related businesses in Oregon are eligible for this through December 31st of next year, 2023. And I'll go over exactly how this works once we're inside of the platform. But I just wanted to mention that with these benefits, you're actually able to sync business details across 75 other online directories, including Apple Maps, Bing, and more, in one location without doing any extra work. So in addition to all of the features and tools that you're already getting through our premium subscription, you're also getting the ability to publish this information on multiple platforms as well. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that early on, because that's going to be huge and super beneficial for you once you're signed up and in here, and just make your lives easier. So I'm going to just pause this for a second, and I'm actually going to share my screen and jump into the demo. Hopefully this works. Technology is finicky, as you know. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see this. I'm just going to move my toolbar. All right, so in order to sign up to use Locl through Travel Oregon, you're going to be sent to our landing page, which is locl.io/Travel Oregon. This link will be provided for you, I think, in the chat, as well as after the fact, like Cecilia mentioned, along with these slides and other information. So first thing you want to do after you've verified your Google listing, because Locl only works with verified locations on Google Maps. Once you're verified, you can go to the site and click Get Started Now. So what that's going to do is basically prompt you to fill in some basic business information, name, email address. Once you fill that out, it's then going to prompt you to connect to your Google business profile. So when you connect your account, it basically pulls in your information from your Google Maps listings and populates it inside of Locl to give you accurate data and start optimizing your business listing through Locl. So once you have an account, you're going to see several tools and features. And just as an FYI, I'm actually using an example account from a Travel Portland user. We also work with Travel Portland. So, but this is essentially what your account's going to look like. It will just say Travel Oregon. But once you're in here, it will prompt you, but if you don't do it right away, you're going to then go in and set up your account using this button here that says Manage and Add New Accounts. And again, it's just going to give you the option to connect to your Google business profile. So then once that's connected, there's lots that you're going to be able to do using Locl. But there's a few things that you should be doing when you first sign up. So one of the first things I wanted to mention is we actually have a social media connector that is available to you, meaning that once you connect your Facebook and or Instagram pages, you're able to pull in your most recent posts to then be able to edit and publish out to Google, which basically saves you time for Google posts and not have to recreate the content wheel. For anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say Google Posts, think of Google Posts as social media style posts on your Google Maps listing. So there are things such as offer posts, event posts to tell people if there's something special going on at your place of business, what's new posts if you're trying to highlight different things about, let's say you have a new menu if you're a restaurant, or specials that are going on if you're doing any sort of promotions at your hotel. And I can show you some examples later if you want to see what they look like. But essentially, one of the first things I would do, as I said, is just make sure that your accounts are connected, because that's going to start pulling in the most recent posts from these platforms. And that way, again, saving you time so you don't have to upload and edit new content through Google Posts on Locl. So after that, I would recommend staying in your managed locations account and going over to the profile lock and edit history. So we've created a feature called profile lock that basically, once it's enabled, your information in local will be the source of truth. So if discrepancies are detected and somebody from the outside world that's not an owner of the listing tries to make updates to your listing, the hours, the business information, whatever it is, this will immediately publish updates to ensure that the information on Google remains accurate. So anything that you update via local will be saved and, again, the source of truth, so no one can mess with it. We've had lots of people in the past and even recently say that, for whatever reason, despite having changed their hours in Google, someone will go in from the public and suggest something differently. And, sometimes this is a mistake. Sometimes it's based on an experience maybe that person had. So by locking your profile is really going to just make sure that no one can do that. So I highly recommend doing that first. So after that, I would go into, again, the manage locations page, just the main section here. And you're going to want to turn on this toggle button here where it says separate listings and maps traffic. So what this means is when you think about maps traffic, you'll be surprised at how much traffic is actually coming from your Google business profile listing compared to other social properties like Yelp, Facebook, etc. But all of this is typically lumped into Google Organic in Google Analytics, if you're familiar with the Google Analytics data. So with local, you can automatically separate out your maps traffic from Google using custom tagging on your website URL. So when you turn this on, this will basically just start collecting that data, separating it out so you can really see where that traffic is coming from on maps. Eventually, we're actually going to have a feature that then will, if you have this on, it will then show you what traffic looks like without having to go into Google Analytics. That's going to be released soon, but I do highly recommend turning this on in the meantime to start collecting that information. So that way, when it is live here, and in the meantime, you can track it in Analytics, but you will have the option to see it in our Analytics page over here, which I'll show you later. So once these basic things are done, again, just in terms of account setup, you're going to want to start to make sure that your listing is as up to date and as accurate as possible. So that means heading over again to the manage locations page and making sure things like your business name is up to date. You're probably looking at me like, what do you mean? Like, of course, our business name is up to date. Like, it's our business name. Why wouldn't it be? But you'd be surprised at how many people maybe have a typo or their name doesn't reflect exactly who they are. So just to be safe, I would say make sure that this is accurate. And then I would go down here and just confirm that all of your business hours are set and as accurate as possible. So the nice thing about this section is you can actually copy hours to make it easier and more time efficient if all of the hours are the same. You can also update your special hours over here, meaning if you're closed or open on a holiday, you can confirm that. I would also make sure that your business categories over here are up to date. So we rarely run into a business who has categories set correctly, which again, maybe sounds silly because it seems pretty obvious. But most people don't know that you have a primary category as well as additional categories that are going to help generate search on the back end. So the primary category should be more accurate in terms of who you are as a business. So I'm using Aurochs Leather here as an example. So they're a leather goods store. That would be like a very great place for them to start in terms of primary category. But then additional categories, you're able to actually select other things that might be related to what you do. So store, shop, gift shop, and so on and so forth. And then these are going to just help when people are searching in Google to find you more often. So if I am looking for gifts in Portland, if I'm from out of town, I would say gift shop Portland. And because these are set properly, then that means this listing would likely show up more and more. I would also make sure that your business description is up to date. So the description is really great because it actually gives you a chance to describe who you are and what you want people to know about your business, but you can also insert a lot of different keywords in there that are important to search. So by completing just a few of these things off the bat after those initial steps, you're going to start to be on your way to appearing in more search results and then ultimately turning those searches into sales, which is the goal. So once these things are updated, you should start thinking about more of the performance-specific optimizations like uploading photos, posts, and engaging with reviews. So we have our photo and video scheduler or tool here. As you can see, you can view all of the uploaded collections per location. So if you wanted to see just one location, you would uncheck this, or you could see all at once. And basically this will just show you all of the photos and videos that have been uploaded and when. And then you can also add photos to your collection and your listing. So when you click that button, you're basically going to be given an option of the type of image or video you want to upload, where you want to upload it to, whether it's one location or all of your locations. And just to say it again, if I haven't, you can upload images, videos, posts, etc., to multiple locations at one time. So there is no flipping between Google screens or listings. We've really, again, tried to make this as easy as possible for our users to get more done in less time and be able to syndicate things out in one fell swoop. So you can do that here. And we also have a photo scheduler tool. So let's say you want to upload 50 photos, but maybe you're trying to break it out over the course of a few weeks. What you can do is schedule a batch of 10 or 15 photos at a time. And you can select the dates that you want to publish them, select the times you want them to publish. If you want them to be deleted for some reason, you can do that too. Something to point out that I always love to share is that listing with 100+ photos on it gets 20 times more views than listings with less photos. So I'm not saying that you need to upload 100 photos today if you sign up. However, I would say if you can make that a goal to have really crisp, clean images, they don't have to be professional. They can be from your iPhone, but owner submitted photos. Not only are people going to then understand who you are as a business and what you're trying to promote or sell more, but it also gives Google, it will give you a little bit more clout with Google because they really consider a business to be official and really start to just like make the listing show up more often when you have more photos. So highly recommend uploading photos. I also get a question a lot in these webinars, like, what's the timing on these? How often should I be doing this? I would say if you can do one big batch photo upload a month, you're in good shape. But if you can do like 2 or 3 a month, even better. If you want to go for once a week, that's great. There really is no limit to how much you can do and upload. Really, Google's looking for ongoing activity, fresh content and images. And again, it's only going to make you more relevant and appealing to your potential customers. So I also mentioned Google Posts before. So as you can see, this is our post tool over here. And if you upload or sync your Facebook or Instagram accounts, like I had mentioned early on, what's going to happen is they're going to populate over here and will actually show you the source that it's coming from. So for example, they have their Instagram account connected. So you can see that the most recent posts on Instagram have now been pulled into Locl's bank of posts. One thing I want to make clear is that we never auto-publish posts on your behalf unless you've gone ahead and scheduled them out. But if they're pulling in from Instagram like they are here, there's always going to be a couple of steps that you're going to need to take in order for them to then be published on Google. So it's really simple. All of this information is already in here, and you're just going to want to click on Edit Post, and you'll add a couple of pieces of information, including a call to action button, a link to a website that you want people to visit, and then you can select when you want the post to be scheduled or if you want them to be published right away. So if you wanted to create new posts similar to photos, you would just click add a post. If you're not active on social media, that's fine. You can create new content using this button here. I'm not going to go into detail on how to do that. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I highly encourage you to go in and just explore and test it out yourself. And then obviously, if you have questions with posts or anything else, you can feel free to reach out to the Travel Oregon team or myself. One other thing I wanted to mention is Google reviews are incredibly important. I think people often gripe at reviews because, when we think reviews, we think of things like Yelp and how it really is a place for people to just like air their grievances, whatever. However, Google really looks at a business and a listing as legitimate after you have, about 25 reviews or more. So this business has more than that. I've just selected a date range to show specifically like in this range, this is how many reviews they've gotten, but you can use the toggler here to see reviews as far back as, 18 plus months. But reviews are important to receive as a business, but they're also important to be responding to. Google wants to see engagement on reviews, whether it's positive or negative. So much like our other tools here, we've gone ahead and created a way for you to see reviews from multiple locations at once in a list here. You can see things like star rating. You can see things like keyword insights. So basically how people are actually talking about you in reviews. And then you can go ahead and just respond directly in here. So if there are reviews you haven't replied to yet, you can toggle it this way. You can see all the ones that have been replied to. Something else too is that we have a tool that we've created that Google does not have that allows you to create review templates and reply templates. So basically, if you are, again, trying to save time, you're doing a lot every day, reviews seem like a hassle, you can actually come in here and create a reply that says something like, thank you so much, or thanks for reaching out. You can update it here. And then when you're responding to the review, you have the option to actually select that template and then edit it and personalize it. So I always recommend that people actually go in and personalize their responses, use first names, don't just copy and paste and have the response be the same for every single review. Google will start to catch on and feel like it's not real or legitimate and might flag it. So making them as personal as possible. Something that I get asked a lot too is in terms of negative reviews, how should you respond? Should you respond? Something I will say is I would always respond, but I would recommend taking it offline. So meaning if it's negative, a response like, thanks so much for reaching out and for your feedback. Please feel free to reach out to us at info@blah, blah, 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 blah. That way you're acknowledging it, you're responding, it's creating, activity on your page, but you're also then not getting yourself into a situation where there could be some heated discussion on your public listing, which is not something that you want to be doing. But definitely just keep in mind that responding to reviews in an appropriate amount of time within, a couple of weeks is important. So once you've done a lot of these things that we just went over, uploading photos regularly, posts, responding to reviews, we're going to basically help you then to see the effects of all of your efforts in our analytics dashboard. So as I mentioned, we collect 18 plus months worth of data, again, compared to Google, which is only a quarter's worth. So this really gives you some insight into what's been happening on all of your locations. You can see all of them at once or one at a time in aggregate. So you can actually compare them pretty easily to see how each location is doing on the map. So it's going to give you insights like how many times someone's clicked on that website button on your listing, how many times somebody has called you, click that direction request button. We have the date range selector here, so you can go through and get as granular as, let's say, 1 week, 2 days. If you're running a special promotion, you can see exactly what was happening on your maps listing based on that time period, or over the course of a year and a half. You can also see how people are actually finding you on maps. So we show you the discovery search and the direct search numbers. Discovery search is basically how people are finding you based on things like business category, your services, keywords. So again, going back to the original example, ice cream near me, ice cream Portland, best breweries nearby. That's going to be the discovery search. And then your direct search is going to be how people are finding you based on your brand name. So looking up your actual business name and location to find you this way. We also monitor the locations where people are searching from and clicking that direction request button. So you can see exactly what zip codes people are in. If you are spending money on ads and marketing, thinking about using this as a way to maybe target other areas and towns, cities, whatever you want, based on where those people are clicking direction requests or not clicking direction requests. And then additional insights and actions like how many times your posts have been seen, how many times your photos have been viewed, how many new reviews you've gotten in that time period. So all of that's here. And then, as I mentioned, if you turn on that separating your Google Maps traffic button that we talked about earlier, we are again working on launching a new feature that will then showcase your Maps traffic and really show you just the comparison between Google Maps, Google Organic, Yelp, Facebook, et cetera. So you can really see how Google Maps is, how important it is and how much it does affect your business. So up here, our first page in Locl, this is where you're going to find out exactly what to do and when to do it. So we've created a personalized overview page or to-do list. So you can keep track of what to do, when to do it, just right in front of you if you're someone that likes to-do lists. Hopefully this will be helpful. It tracks the time that you've saved compared to using Google this month and last month and over the course of time. And it basically will start repopulating with new tasks and tips based on how much you're engaging. So if you have new reviews to respond to, that will show up here. If you haven't uploaded photos in a while, we'll give you a reminder that should be happening as well. And again, just really meant to make everything related to Google Maps and Google Business Profile easier and just less time consuming than it currently is. So as I mentioned before, we do have the Plus Reach option available for Travel Oregon members at this point. So once you sign up, essentially what's going to happen is you're already opted in to the Plus Reach subscription. And so whenever you make a basic business update, let's say your name on Google, like your business name or your current business hours, that information is not only going to get pushed to Google, but it will also sync to 75 plus other directories, like I mentioned, assuming that the fields correspond with those directories. So, things like Apple Maps, hours, and name will update to there directly from here. And because this is already toggled, you don't have to do any extra work. So as long as you click this update button, that information then gets pushed out to these other providers, and assuming that they can intake those fields that you're updating, they will get automatically updated. So you don't have to keep track and be on the internet for 5-10 hours a day going through each individual platform to update those business hours. You can do it all from here very quickly and easily. So think of it as your main source for updating your business name, your address and phone number, things like hours, et cetera. So the real basic business information. But hopefully that's really helpful for you. Again, I think that we've already found that it's saving people a ton of time, and it's just one less thing or 75 less things to think about over the course of a day or a week, especially if you're somebody that's constantly making updates. So that is it on my end. I know I threw a lot of information at you. There's a lot more too in terms of features and functionality that you're able to explore on Locl once you sign up. You will get a copy of this webinar so you can go back in and revisit whatever I talked about, but also if you have questions as you're using this and getting signed up, if you need help connecting your account, whatever it might be, I encourage you to reach out to myself or to Cecilia and Kate over at Travel Oregon. And that's what we're here for. So hopefully you guys will benefit from this and sign up, and we're looking forward to having you use the platform. And I will turn it back over to Cecilia.
Thank you, Alexa. We did get some questions in our Q&A here. So I will just read some to you. One of them was around if this information is already in my business, Google Business Profile, can we just copy and paste and not have to re-enter everything? So if you could just confirm Locl pulls that info in.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is when you sign up for Locl, again, you're going to be prompted to connect your Google Business Profile account, which has all of that information. So once that is connected, we pull all of that information in, so you don't have to retype anything. You just get to edit it as you see fit. But this will all populate for you automatically once that's connected.
So just to be clear, basically you use Locl to manage your Google business profile, you don't need to be logging in to Google to do it. You do it in Locl, and it's going to go and populate your listing in Google search and on Google Maps. So, okay.
Correct.
And then we had, if we could go back to the social connector. So the social connector, which connects your business Facebook or your business Instagram, one or both of them. The question was, does the social connector mean that when you've connected your Facebook and or Instagram accounts, it'll automatically pull that information into your local account, but you'll need to take one more step before it publishes?
Yes, that's correct. So as you can see here, it's, oh, I'm on Cecilia's account now. I did not mean to do that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to log back into the other one. Basically, I'll talk while I'm doing this. So basically what happens is once you connect those accounts, then the most recent posts are going to actually pull in from those accounts. But yes, they're not going to automatically then publish to Google. You will have to take one more step in order to make sure that they're showing up on Google Maps. So I am back where I wanted to be, and now I can share my screen again. Thank you for bearing with me. So here's the post page. This person's connected on Instagram. And as you can see, the most recent posts have populated here in this bank of posts. So you can see here, it says source local, which means that they came in here and edited the post and then pushed it out, but they were originally pulled in from Instagram like this. So right now it's saying, 0 out of 2 posts will be posted to these locations. So in order for this to then push to Google, you're going to want to just click this edit post button. And then decide if you want it to be uploaded to all of the locations or just one. This is what it's going to look like. But you can see here that there isn't a call to action button or a website link that populates, just because on Instagram, there's no field for that. So if you click this, let's say order online button, you can add a website link here, and then you can go ahead and publish it. You can also schedule it out if you don't want to publish it right now. Let's say you're working against a marketing calendar and you were thinking about, posts for the next 2 months. You can go in here, do exactly what I just did, and then schedule it out for, next week, the week after, etc. And then click publish, and then it will be posted to Google on the time that you've selected, or immediately if you just click publish without scheduling it. So yes, there's always going to be an extra step. We don't just automatically pull it in and push it out. You will have to go in here and actually manage the editing of those posts to then show up live. Hopefully that helps.
I think that is such a great feature, such a time saver. And as you were demoing this, you got me thinking about, so our session today, we're really giving you an introduction to Locl. There is so much in there, like once you log in, like speaking to time saving, like quick replies with reviews, the post scheduler. So there's a lot in there that Google Business Profile Direct doesn't have for you. So as you get in and do have questions, Kate, our tech for today, has dropped into chat email addresses. You can reach out directly to Alexa or to myself or Kate at Travel Oregon, and we're here to support and help you on your journey here. So we did great on time. I am not seeing, just double check our questions. I'm not seeing anything in here, but also if anyone on this webinar today thinks of a question after the webinar, do not hesitate to email us. You will receive an email from Travel Oregon with a link to resources, including that survey. Please do take that survey. We love the feedback, and it helps inform our programming. So thank you everyone for your time. I'm going to give us all some time back this afternoon. So I hope you all enjoy it. And Alexa, thank you so very much.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who attended today. And yes, please feel free to reach out if you have any problems or questions. And I'm excited to see more users.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone.